folks, welcome back to Hero to Villain with me, that's Benji FM. We have one league game remaining. Hopefully, you've seen yesterday's episode. I can't encourage you more. I know it's a long one, but it's worth watching. We have one of the greatest Football Manager highlights of my entire Football Manager YouTube career take off. So it might be something you'll enjoy. Get involved, make sure you watch it, and then come back to us. And if you've already seen it, let's get involved. So then, I was just taking through the squad, really, to see how it performed. We'll recap it all towards the end, or after the season's completely completed. But yeah, it's been an interesting campaign, really. One game left to play against Newcastle United, who are in 9th position. We are, though, in that safe place of 8th position. We can't go any higher, we can't go any lower. And a minus goal difference. A bit of an underwhelming year. I'd say 57 points. Let's compare it to last season, where we got, where it is there, you can see 74 points. So way down on last year, but of course, a really big European run in that as well. And the goal, of course, with this Villa side is to win the Premier League. I think the Champions League might be a stretch too far for us. So getting into that championship spot in the next 2 years, I think we'll probably have to do it. We'll do our very best to complete that challenge, but next year is going to have to be a big old year. To attract the top players, you need to be in Europe ordinarily, and currently we are not. So it's going to be tough, it's going to be tricky, and it's something that I'm looking forward to. The challenge should be exciting. There's a battle at the bottom, Huddersfield and Bournemouth fighting out to see who goes down, and at the top of the table, it's going to be Manchester City or Liverpool. Even 10 years later, the facts remain the same. Manchester United and Brighton just behind, and Brighton as well, looking to secure a Champions League place, ousting Chelsea, Tottenham and Arsenal for that 4th place position, as well as ourselves, of course. But we've not really been in the battle as much as I wish we were. Team-wise then, going into this final game against Newcastle United, a little bit of a switch around. We're going to play a few players that don't normally play necessarily. Garrido will be in goal. Then we've got Obama at right back, Hurst at left back, Servi and Ramon will be in the centre. Barron's getting a break for this one. Vergara and Barrow in the centre. Goodmanson behind Rodriguez, Chambers and Gummel either side, and the bench is looking strong. Jovanovic is there, struggling a little bit for fitness. Alessi's a very up and down kind of player. Of course, a right back's going to be something we're going to have to sign next year. We will see if Lloyd Morgan's available, I think, because I'd quite like to have him back. Alkin's going to have a break as well. There's a few others, Robson and the like as well. And yeah, next season going into it, hopefully doing well. Mikey Fletcher did play in the game we played in between, of course, yesterday against Leicester, and we won. So maybe he should start again today. No, Nestor Rodriguez deserves to play this final game. He's been on fire for me this year. A few injury issues this year for him, though. Didn't play as prolifically as he has done in previous years, but yeah, still deserves the start today. And I actually think he gives us the best chance of winning, which is also quite important. It'd be nice to finish the season on a high note. They've got quite a few real players, actually. Lascelles still there, Angelino at left back, Harvey Barnes on the left-hand side, and Augusto in the centre, as well as Berg as well, Sunderberg. I'm not fully familiar with him. I'm sure Norwegians are, though. As into it we go. This is not news, viewers, but it is extraordinarily hot. I don't enjoy it. Right, back into 2D as, yeah, you can see that it's going to be quite an interesting final day. One side's going to go down. I really would love it if Brighton could hold on to 4th position, just to break up that monopoly of the top 6. Brighton and the team doing it this year, it'll be really exciting. We need to like fast forward these highlights a little bit. It's very slow. As we're in the white, by the way. They're in the black traditionally. Of course, they're the home side. And yeah, it's going to be a battle of whether we can win this. I'm bouncing back after the disappointment of the Europa League. A really good win in that game, of course, but we didn't go through. Oh, I've never had a moment like it, viewers. It was next level. Again, if you're still hesitant to watch it, you need to go watch it. It's about the 30-minute mark or something around there. But I mean, watch the whole thing by all means. But that particular moment was off the charts. Augusto with a free kick to Newcastle, fires it just over. It's been a very tentative first 15, really. I've got the window open, so if you can hear the lorry outside drive its way past as Grimmel goes for goal, I can only apologise for that, really. We're back on the ball. Grimmel on this right-hand side as the lorry is now, I think, just dispatching of what can only be described as a skip. And yeah, we've gone close. Really, I should record what's going on outside. I've still got to do the vlog, viewers. I've not forgotten about the vlog. I don't want people to think, oh, he's not even going to do the bloody vlog. Just waiting for an interesting day. Just pausing to wait for it to go. Alright, back underway, and it's going to be Newcastle then, who looks to come forward with it. Barnes with a lovely switch of play to Monson on that right-hand side. Lots of players we're not too familiar with as they go close. There's been a few chances in this first half, but nothing really challenging a goalkeeper yet. Newcastle had 5 shots, none on target. We've had 5 on target, and the 5 on target we've barely seen. Another corner. A corner free kick. 5 minutes to go at the half, and they convert Marcus Antonio with the goal. We'll see if he's any good. As is this going to VAR? It is going to VAR. I assume it's going to count, though, because the assistant moved back to where he would normally go. The referee's going to check it on the screen. But yeah, I mean, we'll take a look at it, I guess. So as the ball's played in, it's just a straightforward header, and I think he's almost definitely onside. If the assistant's missing that, by the way, you really should question whether he should be doing this job at all, as blatantly onside. It's kind of a weird situation because we're going to finish 8th no matter what, so the result is essentially meaningless. But at the same time, like you do want to end the season quite well, set a decent point tally to beat next year. I'm going to say show me something else in the second half, by which I mean don't do that again. This upcoming transfer window, though, in my opinion, is going to be the biggest yet. I mean, we're going to have to see how much money we get to spend. We'll find out, of course, in this episode. We're going to discover how much we've got to spend in the summer, and that's going to be the key thing. If we've got 100 million to spend, we can go kind of crazy. Lots of these players we've got at the moment as well have got value to their name. That's annoying. Menace is going to come on. We've got lots of players with lots of value, so there might be interested parties, especially as we've had an underwhelming year. Like if I was one of the bigger clubs and there was a couple of players in this side that I thought would improve us, especially maybe some of our defenders that I think are going to be really highly rated, as well as someone like maybe Goodmanson or even Chambers, because he's homegrown. Like we could make a lot of money in the transfer market. As 73 minutes gone, corner played in all the way across, and it's going to be Newcastle who are going to come away with this. We'll go a bit more positive, hopefully, despite what happens here. As it's a great cross, you've got to say the ball across there was sensational. Newcastle go 2-0 up and are good for it as well. Elsewhere, Brighton look like they're going to hold on to that 4th position, and Bournemouth look like they might be dropping out of the Premier League. Should have played Marky Fletcher, viewers. That's the only takeaway from this I've got, really. Alessi's final game for the club, it could well be Jonovic's as well, so he's going to come on in place of Barra. A few players that have played pivotal parts this year that we've not quite been as good as we were last season, but there's still 10 minutes. Can we turn it round? Alessi's throw-in kind of sums up his time at Aston Villa. He got into quite a good position, and then what he did after that wasn't particularly good. He's no Lloyd Morgan. I miss him. He's in Italy. We'll try and coax him back. We're on a counter-attack here, though. We've got a man over on that right-hand side if we can switch it across. Rodriguez at the front post, though. Great cross from Chambers. 2 stalwarts of this side that came up with me from the Championship are doing it still in the Premier League. Goodmanson, lovely ball. Actually, in fact, I don't think Rodriguez was in the Championship with me, was he? No, because it was Lemons. I've told a lie. Basically got us into the Europa League, though. We'll give him that credit. As Rodriguez there, header on goal, Costa beaten, and it's 2-1. Maybe, just maybe, this won't be a complete letdown. I mean, it's poor from Newcastle, and Rodriguez here, he's battling away, goes for goal and finds it. 2-2. Late drama. Now, if yesterday's anything to go by, we will concede a last-minute goal here. You can see they absolutely cock it up. The throw-in is all right. Sinnott's header is awful. Menace plays the ball forward, and Rodriguez pounces on the back of that defender. I don't know what's occurred, viewers. I don't know. I'm not going to explain it. I just don't know. 2-2, though. Is there time for a winner? It doesn't look like it. Last minute of the game, the last chance of the half, or the entire match. In fact, I was going to say the half, but the whole match. As we're going to clock up 97 minutes nearly, but there it is. Full time. Newcastle 2, Aston Villa 2. We recover from being 2-0 down, so that's something to be proud of, I guess, and we can take that, hopefully, little bit of momentum into next year. You never know. Right then, let's take a look then. Let's have a little season review of what else has gone on. Brighton indeed do have that Champions League spot going into next season. That's fantastic news. Bournemouth, Palace and Sunderland go down. Bournemouth and Palace have been in the Premier League for a long time. The likes of Leeds staying in here, Bristol City. Who's joining us in the Premier League this season? Let's take a look here. The playoff semi-finals are currently being played, but who's gone up automatically? I'm always curious to see who this is. So that was the previous year, Ben, so well done you. Wolves and Watford, 2 former Premier League sides then, are joining us back into this division. Stoke, Sheffield United, Nottingham Forest and Cardiff. The other ones, Lincoln, go back down to League One, so they all face off against Boston again at some point, we covered it before, but 17th in the league currently. So yeah, their season's done, and they retain their League One status, which I think for Boston really is quite good. And this is kind of why we moved. But you can see money pouring into the club straight away for our league finish. Grimmel's out for 12 days, so he'll be back for next season. Absolutely fine. Press conference wise, we'll leave it and say we'll receive 30 million for our top half finish. We achieved what we set out to at the start of the season. Look, if you'd have said at the start of the year, you'll finish 8th, you'll get to the Europa semi-final, I think any normal fan would have taken it in a series in which you're trying to progress things and move forward. That's not always the case. As you can see there, by the way, Brighton, who finished 4th, not guaranteed the Champions League position quite yet. That suggests to me then that in the Champions League, we've got maybe some English sides in there. Are Manchester City and Liverpool challenging in the Champions League? Let's take a look here. Well, no, City went out in the quarterfinals, but Chelsea and Arsenal may well still be in there. The final then, yes, Arsenal versus PSG. So Arsenal, I think in theory, can wrestle back that spot from Brighton if they do it. Brighton definitely going into Europe, but I don't know, I think there could be a little bit of confusion there, as yeah, of course the Champions League or the Europa League will have either Manchester City or Tottenham in it. I don't know who won the other leg. It was manic yesterday, I can't remember. Let's take a look here. So they will face them. Tottenham will face Bayer Leverkusen, so they've got a chance to be in the Champions League as well. So it's all kicking off at the top of the Premier League with lots of teams still eligible for Europe, apart from ourselves, sadly, who won't be gifted a spot. Unless, of course, Chelsea and Arsenal both win the Champions League, I think even then I'll probably miss out. But yeah, I don't think 8th place can actually get it, can it? I don't think I can, as much as that's sad. Let's take a look through the squad then. In terms of minutes played, there's one man sincerely at the top of this, or clearly at the top of this, Gabby Garrido. You can see there 57 appearances, 5,190 minutes played. That's an extraordinary amount of game time for him. Had a decent season, 10 clean sheets. I mean, he could have maybe performed a little bit better here and there, but when he came in last year, he was fantastic. We had to persevere with him. It's a position that we may look to strengthen, but I think overall, looking at him there, he's a very good keeper and still definitely of the standard, but is wanted over his name as well. So we'll have to see. Alkin, a man that's constantly wanted as well. He's second on that list with Vergara, Barron, Jonovic and Alessi not too far behind. In terms of goals scored then, it was a bit of an underwhelming year. Lots of the midfield getting on the score sheet, but striker-wise, we didn't have that one man firing us into those Europa League spaces or European spaces generally. Néstor Rodriguez there with 16, looking pretty good. I mean, he's been a star of the show, hasn't he, really? Jack Clark with 8 is a bit of a standout considering he only started 19 games, 5 assists to his name as well. A player that is becoming very good in his later years at 28, so a player we definitely want to keep in and around the squad going into next season. In terms of assists, you can see there Gudmundsson, a really good year for him. 25 years of age, Icelandic, wanted as well. Who wants him? Napoli, interested in a transfer. Well, for the right fee, I'm talking like 50, 60, 70 million. Maybe we'd let him go, but yeah, a really key performer for us. In terms of the average rating over the course of the year, Angelo Barons, a player that we brought in at the start of the season, 42 million is now his value. We bought him for 24. It was a big investment for us at the time, but yeah, I think we've got ourselves a sensational centre-back. If he stops being fickle, it could be even better maybe in the future. Jonovic just behind, of course, goes back to Real Madrid. Will we get him back again next season? We'll have to wait and see. If I could get Hurtado and Lloyd Morgan as well, that'd be fantastic to bring the boys back together into this side. Lemons, of course, left. The Rod. There's not the core of this side. I think a few people have mentioned that to me in the comments. Like the core of this side that got us into the Premier League has gone a little bit. We've still got the likes of Gareth Hanna and a few others, but yeah, I think that some people feel a little disconnected for that reason, which I understand. But hopefully, going into next season, we've got a bit more of a relationship with these particular players, and they can drive us forward to success on a domestic level. So moving further forward then, let's see what happens. I don't know when we're going to find out about the stadium as well. Hopefully we get some news on that very, very soon, because it would be really nice to see what the progression is with that, whether the planning stage is going to be, well, hang on, viewers, I can see initial budgets. Let's stop stadium talk for a minute. How much will we get to spend? How much is in the balance? I can't look because it'll show me the budgets. Boom, there it is. Wowzers, £126 million to spend in the transfer window, and we get 100% of the revenue generated from sales as well. 126 million. I don't think I've ever had that much to spend before in a transfer window in a YouTube save. I'm going to go mad. I already know it. That's going to be really exciting. We'll definitely be able to bring in 3 or 4 really quality players, hopefully. I mean, I talked about it before. 2 years for a title. I'm almost going to set that as the challenge for this save, and I think with that amount of money to spend, we're definitely going to be able to do it, alongside the fact that I'm probably going to sell quite a few players. We might make 70 million or something like that, so I mean, goodness me, that's going to be really exciting to see. As we can see here, look, the overall best 11, quite a few players again that we didn't have to begin with, but Mendy there, Schurz, John McGinn, of course, who was a big part of the side, Iheanacho, who we had for a period of time as well, Alkin makes his way in there too, and the end of the season awards, Gudmundsson, 40% for the fans player of the season. Goal of the season goes to Jonovic. Signing of the season, Barons, of course, as he gets Young Player of the Year alongside that as well. And is there anything else to cover, really? Is it an underwhelming year? What did you give it out of 10? I mean, that should be the question, maybe. I think probably a 7 out of 10. Good, not great, didn't progress massively from last year, but did have a really fun Europa campaign. It was great to play some of these European sides. But yeah, I don't know. What would you give it? 7 out of 10? We achieved the goal, but we didn't sort of go above and beyond that. A few players that we brought in I thought would do a little better, and they didn't, and that was a shame, of course. But these things happen sometimes. As we discuss the plans for next season, I'm going to say I want to qualify for the Europa League. They think that's unrealistic. Blimey. I mean, I'm going to have to say top half finish just to win them back over, but I really want to go for those Europa spots, especially with the amount of money we've got to spend now as well. We should definitely be looking at that, I think, personally. And I guess we'll see. Going places. I've just got the achievement called Going Places. What's that for then? I don't know what that is. That's Going Places. What's this do? Your board decide to build a new stadium. Oh, okay. So it's been decided. I don't know if we'll ever get to play in it. It'll be completed in 2032. So it'll be quite a while away from now. It's the George Ramsey Stadium. I can only assume George Ramsey is an Aston Villa legend. If you're a Villa fan, you probably know his name. It's not someone I'm overly familiar with. But yeah, George Ramsey Stadium, named after an Aston Villa hero, costing an awful lot of money. Hopefully it doesn't affect things in terms of the transfer budget too much. We've obviously secured funding. The balance has been completely wiped out because of how much the stadium's going to cost. Well then, that's a development. We had about 80 or what was it, 100 million maybe in the balance sheets. I mean, the transfer budget is there to be spent, right? But this new stadium that I don't necessarily think we need, but I asked for, is going to cost an awful lot of money. 65,000 seater as well. And yeah, they've secured additional funding and sponsorship. That could be good, I guess. But when that sponsorship comes in, I don't know if it'll be when we actually move into the ground or whether we get it early on. I assume it's when we move in. So balance-wise, of course, we're going to get some money for sponsorship. But that's a little bit concerning that now our balance is not good at all, despite the fact our transfer budget is massive. Do I go for the care and craft of trying to organise a transfer budget that keeps us as a stable Premier League club? Or do I just go mad and bring in players that will improve us massively? That's the question we've got going into next season, viewers. Next episode, we'll do some sort of transfer special where we'll talk about some of the incomings that we've made. So look forward to that as well. If you enjoyed today's episode, please do drop a like on it. And if you want to see some more, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're Love with Care. If you want to until next time, it's bloody hot. I'm going to go have a shower. Goodbye. It's too hot. It's daft. We shouldn't be living like this.